Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Leadership Void podcast. I'm Enrique and my co host Vince to bring you the best in our veteran military spouse and first responder community. And Vince will introduce today's guest.
Absolutely. Thanks, Enrique. Here we are in the month of May, Mental Health Awareness Month. We are very strategic who we bring on. We have a dynamic individual, his Ashleah Bechtel. She's going to be talking about a lot of great things, what she's doing with her company, plus leadership arena. So welcome, Ashley. She is the president of Bechtel Group and Associates from the greater Orlando area. Ashley, take it away. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, thank you very much. I really do appreciate this opportunity. And before I go into a little bit about me, I just wanted to absolutely, from the bottom of my heart, thank both of you for doing what you do every day and using this Leadership Void platform to send so many important messages. So thank you. First off, right? We always have to give thanks. So a little bit about me. I was a kid that grew up in rural Western New York on a dirt road, single mom. And the cool thing about being that kid with my mom was she taught me life lessons, my first real leader. Her life lesson to me was the only thing that people can't take away from you is education. So invest in yourself. It is not selfish. So from that foundation, I started looking for opportunities. I became as educated as I could, and I started looking at the world around me to see what can I do to get out of where I'm at. And the Army was that solution for me. And so through the Army, I was able to get my bachelor's degree, my master's degree, and have a career where I ended up helping soldiers and their families. That's where I found my passion. And that's what I'm doing now with my company. I also want to say that I am the mother to a phenomenal daughter. So I can't go without saying that. So that's a little bit about me.
Amazing trajectory, a wonderful start. I love that you referenced your mom and how those foundational years really led to how far you've gotten. And I am so proud. I'm sure, your family and there's a lot of pride there, but I'm so proud of what you did with that knowledge, with that advice. And now that you continue. Now, tell us a little bit more about your company.
Yes, so the Bechtel Group and Associates is a small health and wellness company serving, actually, because of COVID, we serve everyone anywhere. The virtual platforms have allowed us that, and we were really quick to pivot into that space. So we really, bottom line, help people get unstuck. We move people from point A to point B to realize their health and wellness visions and to maximize their potential. And we love doing it.
Absolutely. It sounds you do. And you know what? This is May. I want to say to you and your first leader, happy Mother's Day, because that just happened a few days and weeks ago. So first and foremost, so getting unstuck is a great way to really reframe and look at yourself. So thank you for bringing this up. And how has the pandemic either influenced or impacted mental health of your clients, the need of it?
Yes. So that's a fantastic question. And really what I've seen, and I think you can see this in the literature too, we have extremes, right? On one end of the spectrum, we've had people who use that time in the pandemic to reflect, to notice that maybe their life was out of balance, and to do a total reset and making decisions that were really based on their health and wellness. So whatever that may look like. Right. So that's the positive end of the spectrum. On the other end of the spectrum, though, we have people who have really been hurting. The isolation, the depression, the anxiety, this feeling of never being able to emerge again. So two ends of the spectrum. Most people, though, ended up in between. And that space in between is maybe being able to do that reflection but feeling stuck. So I know that my life is out of balance, but I don't know what to do next. The recognition is there, but it's the action. And that's kind of where I think as a society, that's where we're sitting, in trying to figure out what is our new normal and how do we come out of this, realizing that maybe we are a little bit out of balance.
And that's absolutely true. There's a lot of people that are finding problems with dealing with what we would consider new normal. It is uncharted territory. No one has ever prepared us for anything of the nature that we have been going through for the last 3 years. And so we're learning as we go. Talk about OJT, right?
Oh yeah.
As you're going through, you're learning. And you mentioned earlier the fact that the pandemic opened doors. It actually made you be able to provide services anywhere at any time. What does the future look like in terms of your company?
The question was, what is on the horizon for mental health? And I think, the if there was a silver lining of the pandemic, it's the recognition that mental health is health, right? So this idea that it is okay when you're not having um, feelings that are great to actually talk about them. It's okay to seek help. And I think that normalization is what we're going to continue to see. The other thing that I think is going to happen is that people are going to have different expectations from employers, right? We've had this great resignation, and now we're having companies like Apple, Meta, Cliff Bar, who are really doing the work necessary to promote health within their organizations. So I think we're going to start seeing this idea of mental health creeping into the employer setting, because they also recognize that the prevention of issues saves them money, it gives them happier employees, and in terms of productivity, they're more productive. So I think we'll continue to see that. The other thing I think that we're going to start seeing in terms of mental health is that leaders everywhere are really going to have to get back to the basics. And what I mean by that is they're going to need to know their people. They're going to need to start doing those things that we did in the Army, or in the Air Force, or in the Navy, but really knowing and connecting to their people so that when they look at them, they know something's up and they can ask the question, are you okay? And most importantly, be ready to take on the answer if the answer is no. So I think that's what we're going to be seeing.
Definitely preparation is the key, and glad to know that in the bigger landscape is happening worldwide and nationwide, because mental health is real, and to your point, it's just health. So right. So thank you, Ashley, for sharing that. So let's transition, talk about leadership. And as you said, mom, your first leader said, you can't take this away, which was education, right? So that was very key, important in your upbringing where you're at today. So what do you do in your spare time that aids you to thrive in your professional life?
Yeah, so again, it goes back to mom, right? The foundation for everything. So she taught me invest in yourself, that education piece. But I've expanded the investing in myself to include those things that make me feel whole. So exercise, movement, that's important to me. That's where I do my most reflective thinking. So it's getting out there and running and listening to my feet hit the ground and really getting in this meditative state of thinking and of flowing. So movement, nutrition. Nutrition is another key component of who I am, and fueling myself with the right foods, that makes me feel good. And then in terms of emotion, the social connection to others is key. So for me, giving back to my community, like through things like the Camaraderie Foundation, my community of veterans, through my community in celebration, through lifelong learning, teaching classes to other people, helping out in the junior ROTC, in the high school, and even to a community of special operations forces in the Honor Foundation, helping those transitioning military members and their enablers navigate those waters of transition, which can really be difficult for some people. And then I think, it's important for me to also acknowledge that spirituality component. And so whatever you believe in it, and really take time to sit in that space. So all of those, investing in myself in those ways and investing in others, are things that fill me up and keep me moving.
Now, you received great advice from your mom early on. It actually put you on a great trajectory. There are leaders out there that unfortunately did not get that advice. They're in leadership positions even without that advice. But they're looking to grow, they're looking to expand, they're looking to evolve. And so, what advice did you get as a growing leader that you said it is key as well to implement in my life that you would like to share with them today?
Invest in your people. Spend time with your people. Know who they are and really know who they are. Don't ask superficial questions. Understand what is their vision, what are their goals, and help them get there. Believe in them.
Believe in them indeed. Investing in your troops, your people, your team is so important. Just as much as we value and invest in our children, we have to invest in our employees and in our team. So great, definitely advice for that. Now, Ashley, how do you handle challenges either you faced or currently facing?
I love that question because in the work that I do, we're all about change and we're about challenge. So it's reframing any kind of challenge as an opportunity. So on the surface, you may get some news that just, devastating, right? But where is that silver lining? Hunt for the good stuff and find the opportunity because it's there. It's like the finding the pony in the pile of manure. It's there. You get that pile right there. But there's a pony in there somewhere. So where is it? So it's finding, and that may be too graphic, but it's really finding what is the goodness of the situation. Because even in the worst times, you can find something if you look hard enough.
Now, we've definitely found a lot over the last 3 years that has allowed us to consider things that we are doing and how we handle certain situations. Change is one of those things that have come to all of us all at once, and we've had to deal with it. So, what are some strategies that you implement concerning change?
I embrace it. Change is part of that growth mindset, right? So if you don't change, you stagnate, and once you stagnate, you're irrelevant. So having a growth mindset, expecting the change, embracing the change, and figuring out what is the future of change going to look like. So finding your pivot points.
Finding your pivot points indeed. And as you said, hunt for the good stuff. So as they hunting for good stuff and finding you, Ashley, online or your company, how do our listeners go about doing that?
Yeah, so I don't have a huge, I don't have a website. I operate off of referrals and it's very intentional. I want people who want to do the work. So clients who work with me will oftentimes refer out to other people. They know what my team and I are capable of doing. And so that's how we kind of grow our business. But I would say for this audience and anybody interested in listening to your topics, they're a natural client for myself and my team. And so if they want to call me at 321-442-3852 or look for me on LinkedIn at Ashleah Bechtel, they'll find me. And I'd be, again, because of people, the types of people that your podcast is attracting, I'd be very happy to take that as a referral.
Wonderful. Folks, we're going to have that as part of the video and show notes so that you could be able to get a hold of Ashleah. Ashleah, we've been so fortunate to talk to you today because this period in our life, we need mental health guidance. We need that outlet. We need that professional to help us navigate waters that are still uncharted. We still don't know where this thing is going to lead us here in the next, handful of years. And folks, if you want to get a hold of the Leadership Void podcast, the leadership void at gmail.com is where you will send that inquiry. We would like to entertain any leadership topics that you would like to hear on the show or any guests that you think would be a great fit for our show. Send it to that email, and Vince and I will curate and look into incorporating that into our schedule. But today, Ashleah, thank you so much for sharing your time and wisdom with us as we continue this week.
Well, and thank you again. I appreciate what both of you do.
No, we appreciate you, and we're definitely looking for folks to hunt for the good stuff. You can do that by subscribing on our YouTube channel, The Leadership Void, and you can enter into a drawing to win this wonderful book by Scott McGregor, Standing O, the Salute Edition. So please help us there. And what we do every 1st and the 15th of every month is we do Radio Check. It's an opportunity to talk to our community of military and first responders to get hopefully unstuck or give them great resources like Ashleah and talk about issues that either mental health or some things you need in any arena, leadership per se, but we definitely can help out. 1st and the 15th, 1900, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Radio Check, Lincoln Live. This is all possible by the home team of Round Point Mortgage Servicing Corporation. We're just so grateful for having them as our sponsor. But today, again, it's about Ashleah. Thank you so much for being on our show, and have a great day.
Thanks. Bye.